Bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, buongiorno, buonasera, dzień dobry, dobry wieczór, i jak działa? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be. Jay Slater, case video 2 of the day. Cap on backwards with the white background means we are focusing less on the Jay Slater case itself and more on those annoying and nasty trolls, the tragedy trolls that are the accident group. Last week I featured Kaz Alice, and Kaz Alice, seemed a little bit upset. She even mentioned that she'd been doxxed. She hadn't been doxxed at all. Doxing, to my knowledge, is when you give out someone's address, their name and address, and with bad intent, with some kind of malicious intent. No malicious intent whatsoever. All informative, just to let people know who these nasty creatures are. And that's it. That said, I didn't give out Kaz Alice's address. So there's no doxing. I didn't mention Selbridge. I didn't mention Willow Court. I didn't mention anything like that whatsoever. But that said, if any in the accident group have a problem with doxing, they need to go and have their argument with Thomas Wilson, Thomas the Great, Thomas the Tank Engine, Thomas the Wanker, Thomas the Terrible. He, the self-declared king of doxing, if you like, does nothing but. And it's he himself that said doxing is not illegal. So anyone, Kaz, that has a problem with any doxing from my side, you need to go to Thomas, explain that you don't appreciate all the doxing he's done, and then get back to me, and maybe we can take it from there. In the absence, Kaz, of you doing any kind of protest, then let's go with Peter Pennington's "The gloves are off." All right? No problems at all. But on a side note to that, it is interesting that Thomas the Wanker always comes up with this who doxed whom first, as if doxing is the starting point of any kind of feud or disagreement going on between the accident and foul play group. I've got to tell you, Thomas, way, way, way before any so-called doxing happened, there were lies and fabrications aplenty. So the first time I came across the fabrications and the lies, I decided I would fire back. So if your point is, Thomas, who started all this, it's definitely Ivor Lovelace. I remember quite clearly, very, very shortly after I made a video too that got some traction, Ivor Lovelace started lying about me, saying I was teaching little kids in Valencia, in Spain, which, total lie. And that is why, from that point on, things got a lot worse. But I can tell you, Thomas, I can tell everyone, if you're going to go and post to the world things that are not true, I will respond. As Newton said in physics, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Although, on occasionally, the reaction is even greater than the initial action. So, yeah, for Johnny come latelys to all this, I can only say my first reaction was to the first lies and fabrications put out by Ivor Lovelace many, many moons at all. Now then, let's turn to the belated roast, because I did say I would prefer to do this on Mondays, and I didn't have time yesterday, so Tuesday it is. And let us have a quick look at Lorraine Reeves, because I do want to read out part of what she said and explain how this is, as far as I can see, total projection. But let me try to pull up. It's from the This Morning interview, of course, with that whole plethora of comments underneath, which is still going. Hats off to ITV for keeping the comments open. It's the one thing the accident group hate. They're always shouting, close the comments, close off the comments. They hate the thought that the masses will actually opine in public. But yeah, let's see if we can find Laurie's statement here. She says there's an awful lot of entitlement, and double standards in the comments section. Now, if we take that sentence on its own, let us have a look at it. And actually, I agree. There is an awful lot of entitlement and double standards in the comments section. I would say that they are coming, Laurie, from the accident group, from your lot. She goes on, one can only imagine that after losing a child, life is about putting one foot in front of the other and muddling through another day, trying to survive, yet people expect Debbie to meet their expectations. Well, to be honest, Laurie, you don't have to imagine what it's like after losing a child, because there are plenty of people that follow me, yeah, foul play group enthusiasts, that have actually lost a child in life. So instead of trying to imagine, Laurie, what it's like, why don't you actually speak to the people that have my views and have gone through the exact same process you're describing, or indeed the exact same process that Debbie's gone through? So when you say, Laurie, one can only imagine, no, Laurie, one can only contact the people that have experienced this and get their perspective instead of all your imagining things. Why don't you do that? Let's have an open forum, Laurie, where you actually speak to someone that's gone through this process and find out why they are enraged with Debbie Duncan. Then you don't have to imagine a damn thing, do you? You also say that people expect Debbie to meet their expectations. Well, yes. Yes, I do expect Debbie to meet my expectations when my expectations are for Debbie to be open and honest. If you, Laurie, have different expectations, like you expect Debbie to be dishonest and deceitful, well, I think the problem is with you, not with me, but with you. You say, done to what they deem fit. Answer what they want answered. Yes, Laurie, you're slowly getting it. We want answers to what questions we have. What is wrong with that? My point would be is if you don't have any questions about this case, there's something wrong again with you, not with me. It would be completely natural to have questions in such a strange case as the J. Slater case. The fact you have no questions is a fault, Laurie, of yours. You say all in a time span they consider appropriate. Well, I don't know. What time span would you consider appropriate, Laurie? This case has gone on for nearly 2 years. Would you suggest that an appropriate time span is, oh, I don't know, 5 years? Maybe a decade. If that isn't long enough for you, Laurie, what is the appropriate time span in which to ask the key questions? I made a video earlier today, Laurie, that said the golden hour, it's actually the golden 24 hours, is when all of that key evidence, forensic evidence in particular, has to be collected. Otherwise, the case drifts, and if there is any foul play, it can't be proven. So what is the appropriate time span for that kind of thing to happen? When people are asking questions, Laurie, there is no appropriate time span. It's the sooner, the better. But you are a Johnny-come-lately, Laurie. You really don't know this case that well, and you don't know the background to it that well. But from what I can see, your thought processes are actually somewhat retarded. You actually don't get it. You say it's very much all about them and what they think happened or didn't happen, all about their needs. On the contrary, again, Laurie, it's not all about us. It's all about changing things for the better in a place like Tenerife. Because while people like you just shrug your shoulders and say, nothing to see over here, week after week after week, we get another incident. Someone losing their life, someone in serious trouble, someone with a drug overdose, and it goes on and on and on. Now, people like us, Laurie, on our side, we want to effect change. And we think Debbie Duncan is the number one person that could effect positive change in Tenerife. The fact she's chosen not to do that, but to go after silencing the people that want to do that, speaks volumes. But it also speaks volumes for you that you are backing the wrong horse here. You're backing the horse that says, silence the people that are asking the questions and shrug our shoulders about the horrendous narco use in places like Tenerife. If you were to get on board, Laurie, you'd be on the right side. Now then, let's get on to your second paragraph. You do write an awful amount. I wish, Laurie, you would just get the courage to go voice to voice with me. We could do a Zoom call and we could thrash all this out. It wouldn't take that long. The fact you choose not to do that, and the fact you can't do it, and the fact no one in the accident group can do it at all, wants to do it, won't do it, can't do it, says that you are very, very unsure about tackling someone like me, an old git that just really spouts out nonsense according to you. So why can't you do it? Along with that entitlement comes complaints about behaviors that they themselves engage in, host and or cheer on. It depends what you mean. You need to get specific here, Laurie. If there is some kind of complaint or behavior specific that you can mention, then I can counter it. But in the absence of any specifics, you're keeping it vague. And I think that's on purpose because when you look into specifics, you can't find anything. You say if anyone wishes to trace this toxic behavior back to one person, it is indeed Duncan Smith. Not at all. I would say any toxic behavior from me has come because someone was very toxic towards me. It's that simple. Let's get back to Newtonian physics, Laurie. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So, anything you say bad about me, I will just say back. It's that simple. The prolific troll, you say, describing me, who was removed from this platform, who has and is still attacking anyone even remotely connected to this case. Okay, I am more than happy to talk with anyone about removal from platforms, but beware, Laurie, if you ever get the courage to talk to me, really talk to me, and get into detail on this, when we talk about removal from platforms, I would expect you to come armed with the knowledge of why exactly Tales of Life was removed from the very same platform multiple times. I would expect you to come with armed with information why Thomas the Terrible, Thomas the Wise, Thomas the Great, whatever he's called, why he too was removed from the very same platform. I would expect you, Laurie, to come to this debate armed with the knowledge of why, on another platform, I've never been removed and I've had just one warning over the entire time I've been there on TikTok. Come with the appropriate knowledge, Laurie, because when you don't, and when you get all this prolix writing out of your system, you still haven't gotten anywhere. If you talk to me one on one and we debate and we record it, we put it out there, everyone will be so much better informed. Why don't you do it? What are you so scared of? And then to finish this section, you say, talking about me, has and is still attacking anyone even remotely connected to this case. No. The people I attack, I don't attack people, Laurie, I attack their words. I attack what they say. I attack their thinking and I attack their hypocrisy. So right now, you might think I'm attacking you. I don't even know you, and I don't care anything about you. But your words and what you say, oh yes, I'm always going to attack those when you write absolute bullshit. Of course I'm going to attack it. It's something that has to be corrected. So when you say even remotely connected to this case, hey, I don't care if anyone's connected to the case or not. It's this simple. If they want to write and say bullshit, I will counter it. That's it. What's wrong with that? Now, you write a lot more, but for the time being, let's leave it there. So this is the Tuesday roasting of Laurie, the Johnny come lately who thinks she knows something about the case. I mean, I think Laurie has had two very, very low points. I mean, if I can go back to what she was saying in paragraph 1 about this sense of entitlement, I don't know anyone on this planet that has a greater sense of entitlement than someone that, you know, announces herself to the world of social media wearing a t-shirt saying, I love my vagina. I mean, how much entitlement and self-entitlement is there? How much do you see there? Well, a lot. And I would think the reason Laurie has changed that profile pic is because she realized in the total 8 billion population of the world, she is indeed the only one that does love her vagina. So at least she's changed her shirt, and that sense of entitlement has gone a little bit from her wardrobe, let's say. But the other horrendous mistake Laurie made was when she challenged me on a very simple matter of the Tizza, the Tenerife bus company announcement about the change of bus stop. All the information I put out about that was 100% accurate. That absolute fool and dunce, Pope Chris I, challenged it and was shot down in flames. Laurie challenged it, said, well, we can't see the whole notice. Charlatan Duncan could be lying. No, Laurie, the only charlatan here is you. Learn some Spanish, learn to navigate the website of Tizza, see the evidence, and then comment. That would be my recommendation to you, Little Miss Entitlement. of Hampstead, our London lovey, Laurie. Part 2 of Laurie's roasting will come maybe next week. For the time being, let's leave it there. Hasta luego, adios, hasta la vista. See you next time.